But that was there's an actual conspiracy about the Titanic.
Not sinking.
It sunk, but it wasn't the Titanic that sunk.
What
it was
sunk?
like the Princess India or something. It was like physically from the outside looking in, it looked like the same sort of ship, same sort of design and stuff. And then when they built the Titanic, they kept saying, "Oh, this is the most unsinkable ship ever. You can't sink this ship. You can't sink this ship. You can't sink it. It's like impossible." And it was all for insurance. And then they sent out that Princess India or whatever it was, and sunk that ship because it was identical. Essentially, all for the
insurance payout.
Wow. Because they spent a lot of their advertising campaign talking about how unsinkable this ship is, and then on the first voyage it sinks. Like that,
It's not bad.
It's like selling the Eiffel Tower.
It's not bad.
It's pretty con man.
Yeah. But it's almost too convenient for it to not be true. Like maybe the third or fourth voyage, it's but the first one and done, it's like it's over and done with.
I wonder what the sports bet odds were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, should we intro?
I think we can talk about footy, conspiracy theories, James Cameron.
Welcome to the Goat King Riders Club. We should kick off with some conspiracies.
Sure, let's jump.
Because we already started.
I'm Nathan Hull.
No, what? Nah.
No, not a good conspiracy.
Nah, yeah. Oh, what happened to Nathan Hull? That's the new conspiracy. Oh, he became a Michelin star.
It just disappeared.
Yeah, that's some Texas Chainsaw Massacre shit. He ended up in the kitchen.
He ended up in the kitchen with knives and dead animals.
Yeah, more like a bathroom in Saw. He's trying to figure out the game.
He's locked in some Fritzl basement.
Yeah, which is, I guess, kind of a romantic way. Because was he that bad, Fritzl?
I thought you were talking about Nathan already in past tense. Like, was he that bad? Was Fritzl that bad is the question.
You reckon he was that bad?
That's a God. I actually don't know where to go with that. Well, what would make you think that potentially he wasn't that bad?
I don't know if I heard this from someone. He supplied 3 square meals a day. On the roof over their heads, no rent. It was not a bad.
Middle of Frankfurt, I'm sure rent's going to be pretty expensive.
I'm sure there was some downsides to the situation they were in. But I can say
there's some silver linings there. I get it.
There's some silver linings, but I think there's a lot more dark clouds than anything. But yeah, what else were we talking? We're talking about the Titanic not sinking.
Not sinking, the big insurance payout apparently.
I haven't looked too deep into it. I've basically just seen a 1-minute TikTok about how the Titanic was an insurance scam.
This is scary how people are now learning information from someone's TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
What else is on this TikTok account? So they've got
there's everything. There's the best of the best and the worst of the worst. What's the one that they always try? Oh, there's the caramel. Like if you put condensed milk in a kettle or whatever. If you boil it, it turns into like a caramel... the fucking...
syrup inside of chocolate?
Syrup, the kind of mousse, but it's like a white gelatin sort of mousse. Caramel...
I don't, Aaron. Can you help us out here?
Creme brulee, yeah.
Condensed milk in the kettle, creme brulee. Have you tried it?
No, but I've seen the TikTok.
You've seen the TikTok.
They're just ruining.
Yeah.
But then I've told someone.
It's conspiracy. This is the kettle company getting you to buy more kettles.
Or the milk company. There's so many. Well, this condensed milk is so versatile. No, it's not. It's just one condensed milk. So that's one of the...
Was that a conspiracy theory or...
Oh, it is now.
It is now.
You know, because that might be our next podcast is figuring out how James Cameron is involved.
Okay, with the condensed milk kettle conspiracy. Yeah, we need a catchy name for it though.
James Cameron conspiracy?
No, the
JCC.
condensed milk conspiracy. That's what we need a bit of a
Condensed milk conspiracy. MCC, that's not bad.
MCC. Yeah,
It's pretty close to MCU. We might be bordering on copyright infringement. But, yeah, so that's some of the conspiracies. What else did I say? I watch this shit for hours. Now, have you got TikTok?
I haven't got TikTok.
Don't get it. It's a rabbit hole. It's like deliberate rabbit hole. It goes from like one where it's like about school shootings and then it goes into something about a dude doing up a shit car. Like it's
So
all over the
what's
shop.
your favourite TikTok that you've seen?
I like the dog ones. There's always like vicious dog ones. But there was one today that I saw, and it's like one of those big dopey dog ears, and then he just like whips his ear into his owner's face. You had to be there.
I think I did have to be there.
Enough of these shitty TikTok stories. Let's get into the proper good story.
Yeah, absolutely. So
A lot of good artists on TikTok.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we need to get them to send in some artwork then.
Yeah.
I guess I can take no credit, but I guess I've seen on the socials of Goat King, the social person around the Shorts Film Fest and the nomination or
We've
entry?
got. Well, by the time this comes out, we might be nominated for a few more, but we're in 5
5.
at the moment. I won't tell you how many we've been.
Have you replied? Yeah.
It's about we're at about a 25% success rate at the moment, and we're in about 5 festivals.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, so we got. By the time this episode's finished, we might find out if we're in another one.
Yep.
And then there's a few in June, July, all up until 2022.
Nice. And any of these judges can they got to?
Well, I know one of the well-known Perth festivals couldn't get
to it.
Yeah, we couldn't blackmail them, and
I think that's a James Cameron conspiracy.
yeah, I think it's James Cameron trying to keep the working class man down. Yeah.
No, that's awesome. So, can people see these festivals, or you're going to start posting some information?
Yeah, I mean, it's all on our socials, but there's if you follow the social media, you'll see where it'll be shown.
Yep.
Yeah. So hopefully it's getting shown near you guys soon.
Yep. Speaking
Not
of
in this fucking state, because WA's #1 film festival won't fucking have us. Yeah, too classy.
Alright.
No, not classy enough. Like, what's the word? It's pretentious.
Pretentious, the festival or your short film?
Well, I think our short film is pretentious because it's black and white, which
makes the scene.
Yeah, it's like another 25% artsy, in my opinion. But yeah, I don't know why we too funny.
Not enough plastic bags floating in the air.
Oh man, that's probably what they were going for. Oh, this is the most beautiful thing. What was that from?
American Beauty.
American Beauty.
Yeah.
Jesus. Yeah.
Speaking of social media, there was a comment that dug deep, straight like a dagger through the heart around.
Who?
Bring Nathan back was the comment.
Oh yeah, well, they weren't wrong.
You were going to release Nathan from his dungeon then.
Well, this isn't like a Dr. Steve fucking episode. We're not doing
Dr. Steve?
Dr. Steve?
Dr. Phil?
No, there's the other one. Dr. Steve.
So this is the second time
Dr. O?
you've brought up like a really odd. So you got Jerry Springer. You brought up some weird guy last
Dr.
time.
Steve does where you sit in a circle and say you got to stop doing drugs.
Oh, like a intervention.
He does the intervention shows. Dr. Steve. He's on like a lot of comedy podcasts because it's a Dr. Steve. He's on like Your Mama's House.
Oh, your mum's house and stuff.
Yeah.
Drew.
Dr. Drew.
Dr. Drew.
Yeah,
Right.
Steve Drew. It's all. Well, So you ready to hit these stories, or you got some
Absolutely.
more grievances?
No.
You're acting like this is Festivus or something.
I love Festivus.
It's not the time of the
No,
year.
okay,
for it,
that's
though.
fair. All right. Should we jump in?
Yeah, I'll go with mine first.
No
So
problems.
here's mine.
All right. So, what am I saying? You got the Saxon Conway thing going again.
No, it's just it's like a punk rock anarchy in the US.
It looks like an X.
Yeah.
So, what I'm seeing is a KOMBI van,
Yep.
license plate saying kill.
Well, this is talking about Dr. Drew and Dr. Steve. A quick clue: there is a doctor in this.
Right.
So
I'm not. I don't think either of the characters are the doctor though in the drawing.
maybe.
Maybe. It's either sort of there's a sun coming through the mountains or it's driving through fire.
That is the sun at the snowy mountains, and that is filler.
Right. Okay.
It really
That's filler
is.
space. Right.
It's filler space.
Right. And then we got two passengers coming through the white KOMBI.
Yeah.
One looking very either wearing a balaclava or not a human.
Well, I don't want to give away any plot points.
And the other guy looks a bit like, Ivan Milat, sort of, not obviously with the moustache, but,
You
one of those country
kinda tiptoeing in
serial
the-
killers around,
You're
hitchhikers.
tiptoeing. You're
The
tiptoeing.
hitchhikers. All right. Well,
Your toes are on the coals, but you haven't really planted your feet on it.
okay. I'm guessing it's called White KOMBI though.
It is called White Kombi.
It's by Saxon Conway.
Yeah.
All right.
Alright,
You gonna
ready?
launch in?
Yeah. White Kombi by Sean Conway. Tyson was waiting for payday. He had worked a bunch of extra shifts so he could fulfill his dreams of owning a Winnebago, just like the heroes in his favourite movie, Spaceballs. He had it all planned out. He would pay for the Winnebago, quit his job, and spend the rest of his days robbing and murdering hitchhikers and hookers and burying their bodies in the most scenic spots in America. Payday had arrived and Tyson was about to buy his Winnebago. He was so giddy with excitement he nearly passed out until he saw the vehicle he had purchased. It wasn't a Winnebago at all. It was a white Kombi van. "What the fuck is this shit?" Tyson said. "I don't know, I'm just the delivery man," he responded. Tyson looked at the man with murderous rage. The delivery man was lucky he wasn't a hitchhiker or a hooker, otherwise he would surely be dead. Tyson reluctantly took the keys and drove off into the sunset. Tyson drove for hours up the long, winding freeway trying to figure out how he was going to murder so many people in just a crappy white Kombi van. Tyson drove for what seemed like hours, and when his eyelids became heavy, he could barely keep them open. That's when he saw him. "Hello, Tyson," the voice said. "Who are you?" Tyson's trembling voice replied. "I'm the spirit of Dr. Kevorkian, and I'm here to help you achieve your dreams of murdering people in a van," Dr. Kevorkian's ghost replied. Tyson sighed dramatically. "What's wrong, Tyson?" the doctor said, concerned. "It's just that I had dreams of killing people in a Winnebago. How am I meant to kill people in a small, crappy Kombi?" Tyson said. "Are you kidding?" Dr. Kevorkian said. "I killed 130 people in this very van." Tyson's smile illuminated the van as he drove into the night with his new best friend. For the next 50 years, Dr. Kevorkian would inspire Tyson to kill as many hitchhikers and hookers as possible. On Tyson's deathbed, Dr. Kevorkian helped with his euthanasia. The white Kombi van saw the death of 262 people, but more importantly, it saw the strongest friendships ever between a ghost doctor and a schizophrenic serial killer.
Oh, you enjoyed it. You enjoyed it very much yourself. I
I
like
like the
that.
last line. You know Dr. Kevorkian?
I do, but I was just wondering what inspired that character being.
No, because I had an idea, because I brought a book recently. I can't think what it was called, but it's a haunted house story inside of an IKEA or an IKEA-like store. So yeah. And I was like, what's similar to that and like a conversion fan? And who would haunt a conversion fan other than Dr. Kevorkian, who killed 130 people? You know, if you don't know who Dr. Kevorkian is, he used to travel around America euthanizing the elderly. It was kind of like a, like a dark hero.
Dark hero.
He's kind of like kind of like the Punisher.
Yeah.
Like, it's not. He's not all bubble. He's not there to sell bubble gum. He's killing people.
And then what else inspired? Obviously, the hitchhiker, serial killer type
But
stories.
then you'd also have to. Why would is either have the schizophrenic serial killer or have like a exorcism of the van and stuff, and it's like, well, Dr. Kevorkian wasn't that bad of a person. He'd probably be friends with the schizophrenic serial killer. So, I kind of wanted to make like a buddy cop sort of thing between Dr. Kevorkian's ghost and the schizophrenic serial killer.
Yeah.
Like an old 80s Saturday morning cartoon.
I don't know if I would have been allowed to sit down with my cereal bowl as a kid on a Saturday morning listening to a.
Wait, do you remember
like
the 80s Saturday morning cartoons where it was like they'd animate the characters but the background was the exact same, so they would like run around and it was just like the wheelie they'd cross the same street so just like that, like Scooby-Doo mysteries is what I was thinking for Dr. Kevorkian. But rather than solve crimes, they just killed the elderly. So, yeah.
It's not bad. I liked it. And I really liked how much you enjoyed the last line.
I really did like the schizophrenic serial killer. Yeah.
That was good.
So you liked it?
Yeah. No, I really enjoyed
and then, that's kind of what, he's not wearing a balaclava.
It's a ghost.
It's a ghost.
Yeah. I was getting close there.
Yeah, so you had your toe in the water, you just didn't fully dive into the
fully grasp it. But no, I really liked it. So I've stolen my mum's little book there.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
We might be auctioning this off.
But it's obviously not her work, so...
Oh, you... Fuck, is this the exact same story I just told? You got Ghostface, you got a KOMBI van.
No, it's not.
You got an old person.
There is an old person.
And a schizophrenic.
There definitely is an old person.
So I'm guessing it's called Legacy.
Yes.
I'll tell you what it looks like. It looks like the opening, you probably won't get this, of Scream 2. Do you remember the opening of Scream 2?
I remember the opening of Scream 1.
With Drew Barrymore.
Yeah, in the house. Yeah.
But Scream 2 opened with in the cinema for Stab.
That's right.
And was it I forget what the actor's name is, and he goes into the toilet and like he's in the stall and he just says they did it in Scary Movie.
Listens and
he listens and cops a knife.
That's right.
And that's kind of like he's got the cut here. You should. Could you do, Aaron? Could you put the Scary Movie version of that? Because the Scary, it's a glory hole.
Oh yeah,
and he puts his ear and the dick pops all the way through his.
All the way. Yeah, it goes all the way through, doesn't it?
Oh, it's the guy from House MD, the black guy
Yeah,
from the series.
yeah, but he was in like Higher Learning. Fuck, I can't think of what his name is.
Yeah, he gets stabbed right in the ear, man.
But he,
Rough.
I think he's got like a Greek god name. I think.
So,
you also got the men and women's toilet. That's what made me.
Okay, yeah, it's not. That's not meant to be that. So I guess. I'll give you a hint. He's the main character, and see, these are some of the things that may occur.
Well, he's a fat dude, and
yes,
it might be. This might be a dig at me because you've known for a long time that I have cinema rage.
I do. You do have cinema rage.
Where if someone fucking like choose like so when The Dark Knight came out, this is fucking what 13 years ago. I was
probably more than that.
You were
hanging out for
it for like 6 months.
Fangirling.
Yeah, and like we got gold class tickets. And there was a dude.
You didn't watch the movie. You were just watching some guy eat popcorn.
There was one dude, and he fucking had the brightest phone, and he was almost like putting high beams on my face every time he was looking. And then some chick behind me had a fucking steak and was just like ting 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 ting. And ever since then, it was just like fuck all you cunts. Like I don't want to deal with it.
No, that might be my story next week. Or what's spurned from Sean's cinema rage.
Man, I got no idea.
Yeah, that's right. It's really poor. It's a poor drawing.
Legacy, unless it's a guy that's inspired by like the Armageddon spaceship.
So that's a bus.
Oh, that's a bus. It looks like the Armageddon spaceship.
It does. It's really bad drawing. I don't know what was happening there.
Down here. It's a good Ghostface.
Yeah?
Unless it's not Ghostface.
No, it is Ghostface.
It is Ghostface from Scream?
It is Ghostface from Scream.
Is this blood?
No.
All right, well, I've got no idea. It's kind of like...
It's meant to be a face mask.
He's wearing a face mask?
Like hanging off his ear, yeah. All right,
so yours is Legacy.
Legacy, yep.
After a bit of audio issues, we're going to hear...
Legacy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're wondering why this is cut really poorly.
As poor as my drawing. Yeah. All right. He sits on his couch, overweight, potato chips crumbs all over his belly. His gut's protruding like one of those big round beer bellies that gives a pregnancy appearance. The room is surrounded with empty cans and bottles, greased pizza boxes piled up.
This does sound like a personal attack.
It does remind me of your car, actually. Yeah. The room is dark with the illumination from the TV, the only thing casting light into the room. He cuts a dejected figure, disenfranchised with how the world has turned out. Distraught, his legacy is lost, and he'll be unrecognised to future generations he had hoped to inspire. A dark cloud hovers above him, continually providing him with negative thoughts. He becomes more and more disgusted with the generations that have superseded him. All of his life's hard work, and what's he got to show for it? Movies based on his escapades turned into cheesy franchises with corny catchphrases like, "What's your favourite scary movie?" or "I know what you did last summer." The media have not been any better, coming up with nicknames for his colleagues like the dating game killer or the co-ed butcher. He even heard of a killer living in a sewer, some sort of poo monster. This in his mind trivialised his profession and the amount of hard work and effort he had exerted each and every time he was on the job. It left him depressed. Hollywood had turned his life's work into a popcorn event. Gutless suicide bombers were now being classed as serial killers. How could they? There's no art to that. Where's the fun? Where's the finesse? Where's the connection to deeply looking into someone's eyes to see the terror? He had contemplated suicide but fought those urges, saying this is not the way his story ends. As he sat there that evening, staring vacantly at the white noise emitting from the TV, those dark thoughts came front of mind. This time, though, he shook his head and thought, this can't be his legacy. It's time to come out of retirement. Suddenly, a surge of energy came over him, and he let out a big groan as he got off his big fat belly off the couch, potato chips remnants flying all over the floor. He bends down again, bones and joints cracking as he picks up his walking stick. He slowly walks into his bedroom, going straight to his wardrobe, pushing his beige pants and collared shirts off to the two sides, and pulls a lever which opens up a little wooden nook. His gloves, his mask and trusty knife still sharp as ever. An instant sense of nostalgia comes over him. He pictures the faces of those that have fell at his hands, and an instant feeling of warmth and happiness fills him up. He struggles to get the gloves on, holding them out similar to his friend O.J. Simpson at his trial. His trench coat barely covering his belly. He pulls his mask on and heads out the door. And then it strikes him. His driver's license was revoked 6 months ago for his bad eyesight and old age, and his kids actually sold his car. This won't stop him, he thinks, not in the frame of mind he's currently in, not with the energy pumping through his body. He stealthily leaves the residence, slowly making his way to the bus stop, passing a jogger who doesn't even look twice at him as he screams, "Ah!" What on earth? Maybe they didn't hear him? He reassures himself. The bus pulls up mostly full. He steps on and no one even looks up from their phones. He glares at people as he walks past. No one even bothers to react. He shouts and makes a big scene again, and this time a young lady looks up. Excitement fills his body. He'll get that look of fear he's so long yearned for. The self-gratification will be enormous. Wait, what? He thinks. This is not a glint of fear in her eye. She says, "Excuse me, sir, would you like my seat?" Dejected, he sits down. He looks around and no one is looking at him, even with the half-deformed mask. Back in the day, there would be screams crying for help. He takes his mask off and pushes the bell. The bus pulls up and he slowly gets off, no one batting an eyelid. He leaves his mask behind and without a symbol of all the memories, all the good times that he's had. Dejected and even more depressed, he slowly walks down the street, a tear rolling down one cheek. A jogger approaches and lets out a blood-gurgling scream. The jolt of energy comes thundering down like a lightning bolt. He reaches for his knife as the jogger is frozen with fear. It appears his haggard old face is more scary to the millennial than his mask. The Botox, selfie, overindulgent generation, he thinks as he goes for his knife. His arthritis is really playing up as he struggles to grasp the handle of the knife. He screams at the jogger and slowly walks over, one step at a time with his walking stick. Suddenly, 2 cars come screeching up and people jump out in their uniforms. One of them apologises to the jogger. "I'm so sorry, this is Mark. He's from an old age home a couple streets away and he must have forgotten to take his meds." "Rubbish," Mark shouts. "Don't you know who I am? I killed and murdered hundreds of people. I'm the greatest serial killer that's ever lived." One of the other orderlies grabs his hand, guiding him back to one of the cars, taking the butter knife out of his hand. Now, Mark, we know that's not true. I mean, who are you hurting with this?" Pointing at the knife. "You were just a state premier who ruined people's lives, but murder, I don't think so." Another orderly shouts out, "Anyone got a spare face mask for Mr. McGowan? He must have lost his somewhere." Mark sits dejected in his back seat, upset that he couldn't fulfill his motive one last time. He couldn't bring the old-fashioned serial killer back into vogue. The lights blur as the car takes him back to his old age home. He is helped to his room and watched closely as handed his pills and reluctantly puts them to his mouth. The orderly walks out and he says he'll need escapades. Mark spits out the pills as soon as he knows he's alone and slowly walks to the closet where he grabbed his gear and presses on the secret compartment again. He opens out and lets out a sigh of relief. He goes to turn the first page of his scrapbook and mutters to himself, "The good old days." As he flicks through, he sees the scrapbook of the news headlines with the first one reading, "McGowan strikes again." He lets out another big relief sigh. "I was the greatest."
That was good, man. But there was one scene, I thought you were going to do the old Simpsons reference where where he goes outside and it's like, "Oh, I'm free at last."
Yeah. And then wants to go back in.
"I'm cold and frightened."
Yeah.
I don't like the look of those teenagers.
No, I tell you, I started off like I was thinking, because obviously normally serial killers either end up jail or dead. Like, what would happen to someone that sort of...
I had an argument with someone, or I yelled at someone about the difference between a serial killer and a mass killer.
Like a suicide bomber?
Yeah, a suicide bomber is a mass killer and so a mass killer can kill more than 3 people in one sitting.
Sitting. It's not a buffet. It's not an all-you-can-eat. Yeah. Pizza Hut.
But a serial killer has to kill 3 or more people on more than one occasion.
Yeah, right.
Like one person.
Whereas the suicide bomber could just do one or mass.
Yeah, that's why no one remembers them.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like school shooters. Yeah. Columbine made it cool.
Yeah,
They're the not cool, but they're
guns
the
are not cool, kids.
They're the number 1 draft picks.
Yeah.
Everyone else, there's no other. Like there was that one dude who did it at a cinema, and that's about it. Like no one really remembers anyone else.
Yeah.
Where serial killers, you got the
co-ed butcher.
Kempy, Ed Kemp.
Yep. the Night Stalker Ramirez.
But also talking about the
I'm watching The Son of Sam at the moment.
go back the
Ted Bundy.
no, the date
Game killer.
Date game killer. Yeah.
Yeah. No, so I was thinking like, what would happen if there was a serial killer that survived and and it was like watching these, movies like Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer, just going,
Well, I think
that is so pathetic.
I think you went with the safe option of going after Mark McGowan. Because I think if you went after like Dan Andrews, it would have been a bit on the nose.
Oh, I was just thinking, there's some real sycophant behaviour going on towards Mark McGowan, so I thought maybe I'll change the narrative a little bit there.
Well, if you went after Dan Andrews, it would be like really on the nose. Dude that just keeps fucking up. He's like Colonel Clink or fucking. He's done it again. Yeah. But no, I like that, man.
Yeah, I actually didn't know how I was going to wrap it up. So
I
that's
think
why
when we re-edit it, I might get you to just put Dan Andrews.
Oh yeah. Dan Andrews. Like in The Simpsons, they got Atlanta Falcons.
Or what's his name? The Scottish. He does like talk show. Craig Ferguson. Whenever he swears, they do like an English flag. Yeah. But I like that.
Thank you.
Yeah. What's this though?
Oh, they were just meant to be pictures.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So you ready for the next
Let's
story?
do it.
All right. This is here.
Sean Luke Greenwood.
99 random word. Cocktail!
I might.
You going to go first?
I might go first.
Okay.
All right. So wait, I had vampire on a ghost. Well, I've put vampire on Ghost Train.
Yeah, I had.
So hopefully this. I haven't just
re-edited the words there. Yeah, and I had Boy Scout learns to blackmail.
Yeah. Well, I wrote this. I was pretty happy with what I wrote, but that was a couple of days ago, and I forgot what I wrote. So this is right. I'll get to do this together at the same time. So, vampire on a ghost train. Okay, I think I remember what I wrote now. Dracula always found Train to be a weirdo. He couldn't imagine what he would do if someone spray painted him or if a homeless man tried pissing on his insides. Train didn't even care if shitty kids scratched swear words on his windows. But Train was dead, and no amount of swear words or homeless piss would bring him back. On his walk home, Dracula was struck down by a rogue baseball. He woke up and noticed the ghost of Train floating over his body, talking to him. Choo-choo, he said. Dracula got aboard Ghost Train to solve space mysteries. Yeah.
The interesting thing is there's more to unpack there in your 99 words than your other story. So
It's more about you than what's in the story. What the fuck were you drinking?
No, so I wanted Ghost Train to be a person.
Yeah.
I was picturing like Thomas the Tank Engine, like the...
It was a Comporian train, yeah.
Yeah, he was. It was like his friend. His friend Train was a train who he used to get bullied a lot. People would spray paint him or homeless dudes would piss on his insides. Little kids would scratch on his windows.
I don't know what you do on trains.
No, but I know how the real world works, And then he dies, and Dracula's all sad about it, and then he gets hit in the head with a baseball. And, you know what inspired it? I've been reading a lot of old horror books, almost like detective crime books from like the 70s, where it's always a clairvoyant detective. And it's always like a rogue head injury that causes it to be clairvoyant. So there was one, it was, who was it? Dean Koontz is the author. It was called The Face of Fear. And I read another one called The Vision. And it's both about clairvoyance, but The Face of Fear, the dude is like an Iron Man, Tony Stark sort of character that falls off Mount Everest and
Falls off it.
gets a head injury, and it becomes a clairvoyant and just sees like rapes and murders and helps the police try to solve it. And I'm not doing it justice. It's actually a really good book, but I read it in one day. It was like that good of a book, like a big 300-page book. And then I wanted to learn more about this author, Dean Koontz. And then The Face of Fear had a made-for-TV movie, and it was one of the worst, like 1990s made-for-TV.
Yeah.
Oh, bad.
Yeah, right.
Real bad. But like it was weird because they had all the characters, like because it was like, oh, you know, this detective had blonde hair and blue eyes, and this detective was chubby with like a mustache, and then they like in the movie they like swapped them, and it's like what. They were right there. You had them. Like you had the characters right there, and you fucked it up.
And what's the sci-fi thing at the end?
Oh, you got to go Space Mysteries.
Yeah, right.
Because I thought like a train across the galaxy, like a Pink Floyd. It's also,
you on any meds or anything?
well, it's vampire and ghost train, and it's like, well, I kind of wanted to make it a bit kooky. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm looking forward to Cookie's version.
Yeah. I reckon he plagiarised me, but we'll see. All right. And what was yours?
Mine was Boy Scout lens to.
Also, I didn't know what to say for what would Train say.
What would Train say?
While he's floating over, so I couldn't think of anything like deep and meaningful. So
I don't think in Thomas the Tank Engine any of the trains die, do they?
Not.
But
Only on
they
the
should have done a
inside,
ghost
I
train.
think.
They should have done a
They
ghost train episode.
I think they all die on the inside, but it's yeah, I didn't know what to say, so I just put choo choo, which I thought was fitting.
It is pretty fitting.
So what's yours?
Boy Scout learns to blackmail, and I tried to take a bit of inspiration from Cookie because he's got a bit of a rhyming. I went a bit of a rhyme. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So, all right. Boy Scout learns to blackmail. He gazed proudly at his new patch. The highest one could earn had come with a catch. You see, this Boy Scout had learned a new skill on the day he walked in on a silhouette who froze still. He had caught his Scoutmaster doing an ungodly act. The Scoutmaster covered himself and begged the boy to make a pact. To never tell another soul in exchange for whatever he desired. The boy pondered and demanded the badge he always admired. And that's how he learned the art of blackmail, preventing his Boy Scout leader surely from jail.
So you weren't like the child molestation.
Perverted Scoutmaster.
Oh, what sort of drugs were you on when you wrote that story? What were you drinking when you wrote that story? You know, you've been reading a lot of pedo books.
Did you ever do Scouts?
No.
Okay. No. Well, why did you take so much offence to that question?
Because I think you either go to church or you go to the Boy Scouts. It's never both. Because that's a lot of...
I had a childhood friend and we went down a few nights.
Were you in the Boy Scouts?
No, we went down a few nights it was during the week, and for some reason we went off and lit a fire trying to get our fire badge and we got kicked out.
Well, was this in the bushes that got brought up at your 21st?
No, it was a different bush. There's a bit of a theme going on now. Yeah, but we lit.
Do I know the dude that you went to Boy Scouts with?
Yeah.
Harvey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the delinquents that you chose to give a lift home to over me as a child.
No, I don't think it was.
I think he was there.
No, a dude with his name starting with B. Yeah. Yeah, this is getting very niche, but yeah. So how many fires have you started?
2.
Start a fire.
So, well, you doing
fire starting.
something was happening to the bushes and decided to light a fire there. I don't know why. Don't know how we did it, but we did.
And you didn't get a badge for it?
Didn't get the fire badge. got a swift exit.
What sort of rinky-dink fucking Boy Scout was this? We did what you asked, and it's like, no, it was,
Yeah.
You know why I think you went into the bush? I think all the other kids had like little, matchbox size fires. And
No one else is lighting a fire.
And then you wanted to go big.
I think they were like
go home.
building tents or tying knots or something like that, and we got a bit bored.
Nah. I've never done the Boy Scouts. Done like outdoor education, but that's a bit meh. Yeah. You know, I'm not applying to be Bear Grylls anytime soon, so fuck it, I don't need
You got TikTok now to educate you anyway.
Yeah, I'll go. I watch other people go on adventures. But we've got some jars to find out what next week's topic.
Well, we've got to hear the submissions first, don't we?
I've got a story and...
Oh, yeah, fuck, I've lost, yeah.
My story threw you so much.
Yeah.
Right, I'll read mine, then we'll watch Cookies.
Yeah, show us Cookies on... Oh, you're going to read it?
Yeah.
Wait, and which one did you do? You did...
I did Boy Scout Learns to Blackmail.
Yeah.
All right. Eagle Scout Rory slides a box of Thin Mints across the table to a sweaty man in a cheap suit. Thank you, Rory. After my wife's Girl Scout troop quit, it's tough to find these. Two burly Scout guards stand by a stack of cookies. One quickly removes a tattered Girl Scout beret. Nicholas adjusts his collar anxiously. This is quite an investment, you know. Called in a number of favours. I did, says Rory. And you want me to sell all these cookies for you, or you'll tell my wife? Is that it? Rory realises that's a great idea. That's it.
Oh, that was a hard end.
Yeah, he learned to blackmail.
Yeah.
Challenge.
Why do you reckon there's so much molestation in Boy Scouts?
I don't know if there is.
Oh, that's always the rumour that you hear.
That is true.
You know.
It's a rumour.
I don't know. I think it's kind of like I want to molest kids, but I also want to get.
Is this
some
also a
quality
James Cameron?
I also want to get some quality life skills. I want to be able to do a figure eight knot. People are weird.
People are very weird. Yeah, I did like the voice impressions in there as well. And that's the one you thought you would like to make an animation out of.
Yeah, it would have been fun. You know, a bit of a Mafia Don sort of situation. But
Like it.
not this week.
Was that actually 99 words?
Yeah, it's perfectly 99.
Yeah. All right. You want to listen to Cookies?
Yeah, and he did. Well, he'll tell us probably, he'll
Vampire
probably
on a
tell us
Ghost
what he
Train.
did.
Vampire on a Ghost.
Short story, Vampire on a Ghost Train. The vampire was at the fair with his cape pulled over his head, and as he looked around he anticipated the terror he would spread. The Ferris wheel, maybe? No, he wasn't good with heights. Ah, the ghost train, ideal. It came with ready-made frights. He took his seat near the back and eyed off the neck in front, and took a moment just to savour the thrill of the hunt. And as the train slowed on the corner, he got ready to take his chance. But a skeleton leapt from the shadows, and he nearly shat his pants.
He needs to be the host of like
He needs to be the host of this.
a children's like Tales of the Crypt.
That's
or
true.
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a
The Crypt Keeper.
yeah. Who was the? Oh, who used to talk in rhymes? Was it?
Dr. Seuss?
Yeah, Dr. Seuss. Like a Vincent Price sort of character.
Vincent Price did.
No, but his picture's in my head. Anyway, I
Anyway, should we
I
do
think what I'm saying, Cookie, is you can do better. No, we love Cookie's entries, man. It's always fun. But I spent all afternoon making new cocktail shakers for our 99 random word story cocktails. So now
Quality.
they're actually, well, they're jars, not cocktail shakers, but if you give them a shake. All right. So I'll give you one, and you give me one.
In the link arms?
And then, all right. Oh, shit.
Oh, this is nerve-wracking. What sick ideas have you got in these jars?
Oh, no, you've got an animation for this, so we'll put that on.
Right.
What'd you get?
I got turd in Disneyland. What's it with you and like poo?
Well, I got comedian on a boat, which is. Oh yeah, it's not as good as turd and Disney.
Mr. Hanky.
Well, there you go. The topics for next week is was it
Turd in Disneyland.
and comedian on a boat.
But we're meant to have Sponge in Russia this week as well.
Yeah, I didn't. You know.
The viewers are hanging out for the escapades.
No, I think they've forgiven us now that there's going to be a story about a turd in Disneyland next week.
That's true. Yeah. I'm looking forward to the imagery.
Oh man,
to
we
promote
need artwork. Please send in your artwork for turd in Disneyland. So,
Oh, that could go so many ways.
well, until then, thanks for joining. You have fun?
I did have fun.
Yeah, man. And we got some books coming out soon with our stories in them, so keep an eye out for that, and make sure to keep an eye out for Man on the Moon, and see where that's going to be at a festival near you.
So Twitter, Instagram, YouTube,
Spotify and iTunes.
OnlyFans.
Yeah, OnlyFans. Yeah, we'll get there soon. All right, guys. I'm Sean Conway.
I'm not Nathan Howell.
We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
So, ew.